evidence was being given.
He went out to see what was happening.
I think it was very difficult. I think when they gave their evidence, particularly the children, it was heart-rending to be sat in that court building to hear some of the evidence. And I think from a policing perspective, when you hear the evidence, you always think the benefit of hindsight is the more we could have done on that night or previous.
After 10 long, painful weeks for Helen and the girls, the jury were sent out to consider the evidence. But it would be 10 agonising days before they returned their verdict.
You have been found guilty
of the 5 charged, 3 teenagers were found guilty of Garry's murder. The other 2 were acquitted. Cunliffe, Swellings and Saughton were sentenced to life with minimum terms of 12, 17 and 15 years respectively. Saughton's tariff was later reduced to 13 years on appeal.
Guilty of murder. 3 teenagers who attacked Garry Newlove outside his home in Cheshire have been convicted of murder.
There must have been relief that the people who did this were going to prison for quite a long time.
There was relief. We got 3 guilty verdicts. But they're really, murder is mandatory life sentence. So you hear that and you want life for life. As not as a revenge, as justice that we should have in place in this country.
They've taken my dad's life and they've taken away what my life would have been. They've taken away what my mum's life would have been, my sisters, my dad's brother, everyone in our family and everyone around us. We've had to change the way we are because they thought it was a bit of fun kicking someone and causing them to die.
And what is it like for you personally and for your daughters, you as a family, to live with the loss that you've suffered?
We have good days, we have bad days. I just now think on the Friday I woke up a wife. On the Friday night I went to bed as a widow. And you don't ever think that is going to happen to you. I just want my daughters to be how Garry would have wanted them to be. To be Zoe, to be Amy, to be Danielle, and to get through each pinnacle moment, on their 18th, the 21st, when they get married, that I can stay there and actually think that Garry will be proud of what I'm doing.
Next, a family's brave struggle to come to terms with their enormous loss.
It's not about Garry being a murder victim. It's about doing something good out of something horrendous. It keeps Garry alive in a sense, but it actually raises awareness.
The light has gone out of our lives. It's like a piece of our jigsaw has been lost forever. Amy suffers terrible flashbacks of that night, as Zoe and Danielle also do. As regards myself, I am completely broken-hearted.
The murder of Garry Newlove provoked public debate and outrage about antisocial behaviour.
If we all get together and we stand together, it's more impactful and we may get something done.
In the weeks, months and years that have followed the brutal murder, Helen and the girls have become more and more determined for some good to come from Garry's death.
There is no quick fix to Britain's problems. We need a real strategy. It's not about Garry being a murder victim. It's about doing something good out of something horrendous. It keeps Garry alive in a sense, but it actually raises awareness and it makes everybody sit up again and say, because complacency doesn't sit with me at all, and that's what you can become.
Today, Helen is in London for a series of meetings.
Morning.
Good morning.
They are aimed at discussing how the drinks industry can help to combat binge drinking.
Yeah, they're going to be the community pubs, which I'm really, that's the most important one, to get into local hubs. So that, because the mechanism that we have in place there, that's where the antisocial behaviour is.
Helen is fighting on a number of fronts to tackle antisocial behaviour associated with drinking, to strive for better victim support, to force better parental responsibility. Her work has triggered national debate. Her hope that another family will not have to bear the anguish hers has suffered.
What do you make of what your mother's trying to do and trying to change things?
It's horrible that it's got to be my mum that's got to make people sit up and listen. And it's only just now that